I believe that judging others can be one of the biggest hindrances to our success. Judging others can really hold us back from really believing what is possible for us, from achieving more, from seeing that there are opportunities everywhere. Of course, being able to handle the judgments of others is also important, which I talk about in my previous episode about authenticity. So if you're interested in that, go take a look at that. But in this episode specifically, I want to talk about how when we judge others and our first instinct is to think negatively about someone, how that can really end up deterring us instead. Now, don't get me wrong, judgment is a completely normal feeling, but I think it's really important that we take that judgment and that negativity and transmute it into something positive. Because whether it's based in projection or confirmation bias or just confirmation of the views that you already have, or based in assessing if it's an actual threat to you, it's all rooted in the ego. And oftentimes when we are challenged with something unfamiliar, or we are challenged with something that we have not seen in our day-to-day, it can be such a cognitive dissonance to see it out in the real world, and you automatically think that it's something bad or someone had to do something bad to get it, and that's not the case. Now, I live in what they call the land of scammers, which is Atlanta, and so I hear this a lot, like, or I've seen a lot of things where I'm like, oh, I realize like that's fake jewelry, or that's a fake bag, or that's just a dupe, which I personally don't care about. Live your life. But there are so many people here, when you look past the surface or what people tell you or the bias that the city has, there are so many people that are actually making money. There are so many people who are thriving in their life. And so I think it's really important to shift that, to remember that you are able and capable of doing so much more with your life. And just because this person is a part of that low percent that is fraudulent doesn't mean that that's the case for everyone. Because when you judge others, all you're doing is slowing yourself down. All you're doing is saying, okay, like it's not possible. But if you're able to spin that and say, wow, that's possible for me too, no matter how that person got it, because that's not our job. Our job isn't to assess how that person got it, whether that was through scamming, or if it is a dupe, or if they have a sugar daddy, or if they did something illegal to get it. That's not our job. Our job is to just know that it's possible. Because when you are judging others and you're automatically thinking, oh, they did it the fraudulent way, or they must have someone helping them out, or they must be a Nepo baby, all you're doing is taking your insecurities and projecting them out into the world. You're letting your ego and your confidence know, like your self-esteem know, like that they got it because they're better than you, or because they have life easier than you. And of course, does nepotism exist? Yeah. Do people get a leg up a lot of times? Yeah. Are there privileges that exist? Yes. Do each and every one of us have some sort of privilege about us? Yes, yes, yes. But that's beyond the point. The point is that when you judge others, you're just projecting and making yourself feel even more insecure about whatever it is that you actually want out of life. And you just talk yourself into that negativity loop that I discuss, which is, this person has it, I know that I'm not possible of that said thing, so why even try? And then when you don't get it, you're like, see, it just reinforces the fact that I told myself that I'm not deserving of it, or I'm not able to attain it. And wouldn't it be more productive to think more positively about others so that you can think more positively about your own life? So use judgment as a self-improvement tool. Use judgment as a mechanism to transmute that negative energy of whatever that judgment is into a positive outcome. So you're probably like, India, how can I practice this in my real life? Like, how do I take myself when I'm judging something or someone and make it work for me? Well, it starts with awareness. So if you're even on this episode, whether that's on my podcast or on YouTube, you're already there. You're already aware that you're judging people. You're already curious about what it means to judge others and how you can stop that and nip it in the bud. Because the more that you find yourself being able to take that feeling or that bias that you have about someone or that something and work on it and practice it over time, it affects you less, and you're able to say, go girl or go guy, whatever, I'm happy for you. If you like it, I love it. And you're at least aware of the emotion that you have, because again, these are normal emotions, but you being aware of it and having tools that can help you to get past and release that negative emotion can really be a source of good not only to you but to others around you. And this was another topic that I had in my notes app, like something I want to talk about. But what really reinforced me talking about it this week was I just finished reading this book by Amanda Frances, or listening to the Audible, and it's called Rich as Fuck. I think that's what it's called. And I stumbled upon this book because she's on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I am a reality TV stan. I love it. Like, I'm a psych major, or I was a psych major, and a master's school dropout, so those are my credentials as well. But I love like studying minds and just like people's behaviors and observing people's behaviors. So anyway, I was listening to her Audible, and she was talking about judgment and how she had to really like nip that in the bud within herself, even when she was like making so much money, because she started to have this, not bravado about herself and think that she was better than other women because she was doing it all on her own, but she just started to feel triggered by seeing other women in places that she worked so hard to get into. So she had this one example of, she was on a plane and she was in first class, and she saw another woman in first class like near her, and the woman was like bedazzling in diamonds, and she had like the best purse, and like she just had this like luxury aura, and her automatic thought was her husband bought that for her, or she had a sugar daddy, and she had to quickly shift that and go, wait, like, but what's so bad about that? Like, what is so bad about either one of those things? Because oftentimes when we are judging someone based on what they have, what they do, or who they are, it's because they have something that we want. And it's not exactly, you know, what we want. It doesn't have to be the picture perfect example, but there's something about what that person has, their aura, their essence, their material goods. There's something about it that gives us an insecurity within ourselves, or that highlights that insecurity within ourselves. So whether that's the material item, or the husband, or the job, or just having the bravado and the balls to do and be the person that they want to be, they have something within them that we want within us. So whether they have that job, that material item, that husband that is a provider, or they just have this confidence about them, this bravado, or the balls to just get up and just do what they want to do, there's something within them that you also would like to have within yourself. So when you do find yourself triggered by someone, or you start to find yourself judging someone, the first thing you can do is stop it dead in its tracks and say, well, I'm judging someone, what's going on here? And ask yourself, why am I being triggered by this person? Like, what does this person have that I want? Because there's clearly something that they have that I would love to possess. And ask yourself, what does that person have that I want? Because there's clearly something about them that bothers me, and they shouldn't bother you. If that person is minding their own business, not hurting anyone, why is it bothering you? Why are you triggered by somebody living their best life? And when you really put it that way, and you ask yourself, why am I triggered by someone living in their true self, by living their best life, by living in what they find works for them? Why does that bother me? And when you have that honest moment with yourself where you're like, why should that bother me? Like, what is going on in here? Like, let me figure this out. You're then able to take that awareness and shift it into something positive. So what I like to do is send positivity to that person. Send positivity and say, okay, great. They're just showing me that it's possible. They're just showing me that what I want is attainable. Like, wow, they have the guts to go out there and get what they want. They have the guts to believe in themselves. Let me increase my self-esteem. Let me truly believe that what I want is out there for me too. And no, it's not a carbon copy of what I want, but the essence of it is what I want. And truly, because that's what it is, the essence of whatever that person has is what you want. So believe that it's possible for you too. And of course, there are times where you're going to be triggered by people's negative behavior and judge people based on negative things. But that in itself is a hindrance as well, because why judge someone based on where they are just because you aren't there any longer? And use what that person is going through as a tool of reflection and gratefulness. Like, wow, I used to be in that same position, or I used to think the same way, and I've came so far. And send love to that person, whether it's a stranger or friend. I have a lot of friends who I have felt triggered by in both positive and negative ways. And in both cases, I send love to those people. So regardless of the scenario, whether it's judging someone based on them having something that you have, or a lifestyle that you have, and judging someone based on a lifestyle that you have stepped away from, or something that was not right for you, send positivity and love to that person and refine your vision. Whether that is your vision list or vision board, or your dream list or a Pinterest board, refine and redefine what that means for you, what success means for you, what luxury means for you, what the perfect spouse is means to you, what that feels like. Use that judgment to develop and refine what you want for yourself, and remind yourself that if they can have it, again, I can have it too. Like, God isn't just someone who is like, oh, that person is beautiful, so I'm gonna give it to that person. That person is whatever, so I'm not gonna give it to that person. That's not how that works. It's all about energy, and the energy that you have and that you possess. And so when you're judging someone and you're rooted in negativity and an ego, that's not going to help you get to where you want to go. That's not at least the driving force for me. That's not the motivation for me, because all that does is make me feel more insecure. But what is the motivation for me, what does drive me, is by reminding myself that if they have it, I can have it too. They're just showing me that it's possible. So let me look at what they're doing, not copy what they're doing, but let me look at what they're doing and make it work for me. Let me make whatever I see, let me spin that into what works for my personality, what works for my lifestyle, what works for the lifestyle that I desire. And honestly, the world is hard enough on women as is. So why do we want to go out and continue to make the world a harder place for women? Why should we go out and project our beliefs or what we've been through or our personal views onto others? Allow others to live their life. And again, if they're not harming anyone, they're not harming you, or themselves, like, why is it any of your business? Carry on. And it's so funny because I was looking at this one post that this guy made. I don't even know who the guy is. I think he might be a business coach, which I would never follow or listen to a business coach who said this, but he's like, don't let the world fool you. Don't let these women fool you. A lot of them have sugar daddies, or a lot of them are yacht girls, or do those type of sex work type of things. And if you don't know what a yacht girl is, look it up. I'm not here to talk about it. But at the end of the day, why does it matter? Why does it matter to that guy what like this girl does for a living? If she feels called to do that because there is a need for it, obviously, then why is it any of your business? And the amount of comments that I saw of other women who were like, I knew it, or yeah, like I have a real 9-to-5 job. Who cares? Why do you think that you working at a bank making $50,000 makes you better than an OnlyFans girl who's out here making millions of dollars a year? If anything, I think that they're actually smarter, if I'm honest. Like, but again, that's not for me to judge. Like, everyone has a calling and everyone should live in their authentic life. And so if they're living authentically and they haven't come online and said, I'm being abused or whatever, then what is it to you? As women, we need to be supporting each other. We need to be uplifting each other. I have friends of all backgrounds and all jobs, to be honest, whether that is a 9-to-5 job, an entrepreneur job, working in the service industry, whatever it be. I have friends of all avenues, and I love that because it shows me the possibilities are endless, that the ways to make money are endless. I have friends that work 9-to-5 and make 100K. I have friends that work 9-to-5 and make 50K. I have friends that are in the service industry and make more than all of that. I have friends who are entrepreneurs and make millions of dollars. I love seeing how money flows. I love seeing the possibilities and knowing that whatever I want, I can have. And if you allow your judgment to subside into a positive emotion about that person, you allow more doors to open for you too. So it's important to be more open and receptive to other people instead of automatically judging them. And of course, again, judgment is a normal emotion, but a feeling and an emotion is different than an action. And that's where emotional regulation comes into play. And I think sometimes when we think about emotional regulation, it's just about like not punching someone or calling someone out or talking crap about someone to their face. No, it's also about the thoughts that you tell yourself and being able to emotionally regulate your emotion with like the reality of what's true for you. And the more I have done this in my own life and have judged people less, I have seen my success grow more and more and more because I'm not focused on other people's life. I'm focused on me. And I think that is the root of all of this. And that is the root of my content, is focusing on you and the power that focusing on you has over your life. Like the things that you can accomplish when you focus on yourself and you focus on your goals, you focus on your success. And in doing that, you cheer other people on. You are less judgmental because what is it to you? And the better your inner world gets, the better your outer world gets. So let's judge people less and cheer people on more. Be more open to other people and their ideals. And just because they're not like you doesn't make it wrong. Make what works for you work. And no matter what it is, just know that the possibilities are endless for you. When you focus on yourself, you cheer people on, you spread joy instead of hate, and you thrive in your own life. And that is today's episode. I just really wanted to talk about that because I've seen a lot of judgment online when it comes to so many things, especially with women. And I'm a girl's girl. I think that women should support women. So you're on my channel. You're obviously a girl's girl too. So I really appreciate you for tuning in. And if you're on my YouTube channel, I would appreciate a like, a share, a subscribe, a comment, anything like that. If you're on my podcast channel, whether that is on Spotify or Apple, then I would love a 5-star rating, a review, a comment, anything of that nature would be helpful as well for me to push my content out and be able to spread my inner work to other people. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great weekend and a great week. If you're on the East Coast, stay warm, stay in the house, pretty much. Stay in the house. Stock up on water, charge your devices, and just stay beautiful and aligned and, you know, as your joyful self. And I will catch you all next week. Bye.